A lot of guys getting to the same age as me, 40 years of age, might have even had a blood test recently and found maybe that your testosterone level has been quite low. And you're looking at your options. You're wondering, okay, how do I boost my testosterone levels? And unfortunately with the internet, everybody is trying to sell a quick fix. And you'll find that when you do have low testosterone levels, that you may be fed ads and things that promise the world to you. And what they promise the world to you is going on TRT. And what I want this video to be about is giving you a list of things that you must tick for the next 3 to 6 months before considering it. It's big business, TRT. It really, really is. When I look at a business model that's going to be successful, I look at how do I create recurring revenue on something that once people start using it, they never want to cancel. Think about it. What are some very successful companies that do that? Your phone, of course, because as soon as you pay for your phone bill every single month, you need it because you don't want to risk losing your number and losing your phone and your data and social media and all of that shit. Your mortgage payments, of course, you're going to make effort to pay them because, of course, you don't want to lose your house. And there's another one that maybe isn't as important, but it's getting your head around looking at it like this, and it is TRT. And the reason I say that is when you start TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, you will be dependent on it for the rest of your life. And I believe TRT is anywhere between 120 to 140 pounds per month if you're going to some of these private clinics, which means when you start doing that, you're going to have to pay 120 to 140 pounds a month just to feel normal for decades to come. That's a great business model. That's really, really good because once you get somebody on that, then they're going to be a customer for a long, long time. And this is exactly why I try and say to people that should be a last resort. And before you even consider that, you need to look at the things that are available to you to change that. Now, I've just had a client who had 10 months ago was told that after the blood work that he had low testosterone levels. And for the last 10 months, he's been doing certain things. And he just recently had a blood test and found that his testosterone levels have gone from abnormal to normal. And I'm telling you now, if you follow the next few things that I'm going to tell you over the next 20 to 30 minutes, and you're patient and you're persistent and you can look at yourself in the mirror and honestly say to yourself that you are doing these things for a period of 3 to 6 months, it will solve the game for you. And if it doesn't, then and only then maybe consider TRT. My aim for this is to help you save money and to help you make better decisions, but not just that, to give you a healthier, happier and more rewarding life. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I've put these in order of priority. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is the most important thing, and then it's going to go up and up and up and up and up. So the first thing I'm speaking about now is without a doubt the most important thing to help you raise your testosterone levels. And that thing is sleep. Sleep is the ultimate test booster. And for each of these, I'm going to give you 5 bullet points to really hit home what you need to focus on to help improve each and every one. Now with sleep, one of the things that you need to focus on doing is aiming to get 7 to 9 hours sleep. A lot of people say to me, oh, I can't get that much sleep, this, that, and the other. Fine. Have low testosterone levels. That's the reality of it. You are not exempt from not getting enough sleep. It's going to fuck the quality of your life. It's going to fuck your testosterone levels. And as you get older, it's going to get more and more difficult to do. So you need to prioritize this. You need to focus on this. You need to realistically say to yourself, look, it's difficult to do, but I need to have as a non-negotiable 7 to 9 hours sleep per night. And I don't care who you are not exempt. The next thing is stick to a consistent sleep-wake schedule, even on weekends. You need to go to bed earlier. Skip that last 30 minutes of Netflix. Go to bed earlier. It's the ultimate unlock. I go to bed at 9 p.m. but it's because I get up at 4:30 a.m. And the reason I get up at 4:30 a.m. is I have jiu-jitsu at 6 p.m. I like to go to the gym early in the morning. I like to get some stretching in. And I like to do all of that before my kids go to school. So I can hit the gym, do some jiu-jitsu, do some stretching, get back home and still see the kids before they go to school. If, for example, you don't want to get up at 4:30, which is 99% of the population, then change the schedule. So if you are getting up at 5:30, make sure you're going to bed by 10. If you're getting up at 6:30, make sure you're going to bed by 11. If you're getting up at 7:30, make sure you're going to bed by 12:30 p.m. Each their own. I know there's night owls out there and there's also early birds. Whichever you are, you've got to make sure that you're getting that at least 7 to 9 hours sleep and making sure that you are consistently going to bed at the same time. The beautiful thing about technology these days is I have a little thing on my Apple Watch which beeps or vibrates and says, start winding down for sleep. And it normally comes up about 30 minutes. And it just reminds me, start doing my evening wind down routine to increase my chances of getting a good night's sleep. Number 3 of sleep is to avoid screens, caffeine, and alcohol 2 to 3 hours before bed. I would say that one of the most important things for you to do is get this mobile phone. And it's something that I've actually just started doing again. I did for 2 years, and I had my phone back in the bedroom for about 8 months, 9 months. And this week I've put it back downstairs, and it has been a game changer. Put your phone downstairs. Do not sleep with it by your side. Use a alarm clock, an old school alarm clock to get up. I'm telling you now, that will be a game changer. So avoid screens in the bedroom. If you want to be entertained, okay, there's many different things that you can do to entertain yourself in the bedroom, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about paper books. And I know that doesn't sound as exciting as what's going on in your head at the moment, but one thing that I find with a paper book is I find it really hard to read when I'm in bed because it's non-stimulating, it's paper, and it causes me to nod off, and that's exactly what I want it to do. So I aim to try and read a chapter, I get a couple of pages in, and I'm nodding off. Avoid screens. Caffeine, I cut caffeine by 2 p.m. because I go to bed at 9. I give myself a decent window, at least 6 hours before my last cup of coffee and before bed. And of course, if you want your sleep to be absolutely fucked, drink alcohol, okay? That will ruin your sleep. Stay off the booze. Number 4 for sleep is to create a cool, dark, quiet sleeping environment. Your bedroom should be like a cave. Should be dark. You should focus on, I know the Amazon Prime sale is on at the moment, depending on the last time you listened to this, but get some blackout curtains, darken your room, make sure it's nice and cool. It can be quite difficult in the UK, especially when we have a bit of a heat wave, but a dark, cool room is essential for a good quality night's sleep. And the final one, have a wind down ritual. I always say this, that an evening routine is more important than a morning routine because your morning starts the night before. My evening routine is nice and simple. I try and get a hot shower about an hour before bed. It slightly raises your body temperature and then drops, which signals to your brain that it's time to go to sleep. So getting changed into comfy clothes, telling my brain that it's time to wind down, making sure that I put my phone on charge downstairs, stretching, breath work. One of the game changers with a good wind down routine is to make sure that your heart rate is as low as possible. And one of the things that I find about lowering my heart rate, of course, not being on social media, but also breath work. 2 or 3 rounds of Wim Hof breathing, I have found lowers my heart rate from about 50 odd to about 40 odd. So about 53, 55 down to about 42, 45. And I also get to the 3rd round and I normally fall asleep before I hit the 3rd round. So have a wind down routine. Signal to your brain that it's time to go to sleep. A lot of that will be easier when you have a hot shower, when you have a paper book in bed, when you don't have your phone in your room and you're not scrolling through Instagram. So that is sleep. Without doubt, the most important thing to boost your test levels is sleep. The next most important one is alcohol. Now, I know a lot of people do not want to hear this, but alcohol is fucking your test levels. Simple. I've given up alcohol. I haven't drunk in 6 months, and it's been a massive, massive game changer. Now, it's not been easy to do. I fucking love alcohol. But it's got to a point in my life where I'm like, it's just not serving me anymore for multiple reasons. 1, it does fuck your testosterone production. 2, I'm done with feeling like shit. But I know that's not going to be the same for everybody. So here's a few tips when it comes to alcohol. The first one is to limit to 0 to 4 drinks per week. The less, the better. If you need to have a drink, have it on a Friday, maybe on a Saturday. Try not to drink on a school night, and understand that when you do that, it does fuck your sleep. It does fuck your testosterone levels. It does fuck a lot of things in your body. As much as you don't want to believe it's true, it is. And if you are struggling with low testosterone and drinking alcohol regularly, that will be one of the main contributing factors. The next one is to avoid binge drinking. Okay, 1 or 2 drinks is fine. One of the reasons that I gave up alcohol is that 1 or 2 drinks for me isn't fine. I am definitely that person who likes 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9. When I'm on it, I'm on it. Okay, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I don't do anything by half. That includes good habits and bad. So avoid binge drinking. If you're over the age of 40 and binge drinking, get a grip. Seriously. I get having a couple of drinks with friends, but getting on it till the early hours in the morning, mate, you're 40. Sort your life out. Seriously. It's not cool. And it's fucking everything up in your body, your brain. It's not cool. Once every blue moon, fine. But if you're doing it every weekend, that'll be the reason that it's fucking you up, mate. Okay? Seriously. Number 3, skip alcohol 3 hours before bed to protect sleep quality. If you are going to have a drink, day drink. Okay? Day drink. Go out for a few drinks in the daytime. Like lunchtime. Lunchtime drinks. A lunchtime pint. Okay? Give your body plenty of time to metabolize it. Give your body plenty of time to process it so you can improve your sleep. Okay? And number 4, choose non-alcoholic options if you need a social replacement. Something that I've been enjoying since this year has been certain beers, non-alcoholic beers that have things in that can still give you a buzz. There is a drinks company called Impossibrew, and they're not cheap. I think I paid almost 30 quid for 12 cans, but in the can of beer, alcohol-free beer or 0.5% beer, they have ashwagandha and theanine. And that combined with like a hoppy IPA actually makes you feel like you've had a beer. You get a little bit of a woozy feeling, but the benefits are there's no alcohol in there, there's good quality ingredients, and it's only about 35 calories a can. So it's great if you're dieting, you get that kind of social buzz and you feel great. So that's been a great hack for me. And another one is Corona Zero. And my theory on Corona Zero is it tastes so similar to a normal Corona because of the lime, not because of anything else. If you're sticking a lime in the bottle, it feels a bit like having a normal Corona. And one of the things I found on the weekends drinking non-alcoholic beer is it's more of the ritual of doing it rather than actually drinking the alcohol. So actually having non-alcoholic drinks on a Friday night and a Saturday night, just one or two, it's something for me to look forward to now. It's something I enjoy. And because I only drink on a Friday or Saturday, I actually get that feeling of relaxation that I normally used to get with a couple of beers on the weekend. It's taken a long time to do it. You know, I've been alcohol free for 6 months now, but it works, and it is becoming a great replacement for alcohol. So the final one is track impact. And this is one of the main reasons that I gave up alcohol, because I have on my Apple Watch something called Stress Watch. And on Stress Watch, what it shows me is something that's super, super important for your health, and that is heart rate variability. Okay, heart rate variability. And what I found with heart rate variability is when I'm not looking after myself, I'm overloaded, it has all these red faces, okay? Red faces. And it says to me, oh, you're not looking after yourself. Now, 8 weeks before Christmas, I went alcohol free, and all of the smiley faces on my watch were green. They were like, oh, well done, you know, normal, normal, normal. If you look at, you can't see now here, but on my watch, they're all green, all good. For 8 weeks, they were all green and all good. And then Christmas happened, and then I was like, right, cool, I'm going to get on it. Like I always do for Christmas, drinking, catching up with people, lots of Guinness, lots of red wine. Within a couple of days of going back to drinking, all of my nice green smiley faces were red. In fact, all of them were red for about 1 or 2 weeks. I was waking up with anxiety, I was waking up with overwhelm, I was getting heart palpitations, I was sweating, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing to myself? I've just spent the last 8 weeks feeling awesome. My heart rate variability is really high. My watch is constantly saying to me that I'm doing a good job. And for the last 2 weeks, I've had anxiety, I've had overwhelm, I feel like shit, and my watch has all these horrible red angry faces on it. And just from tracking my stress and what alcohol was doing to me was enough for me to go, fuck this shit. And that was the reality of it. Tracking exactly what it was actually doing to me, which it was fucking me up, literally made me realize I need to change this. And it's less about how alcohol makes you feel, because it, once again, like one of the things that I find with alcohol is it helps calm me down. It helps slow down my brain, my very overactive brain on the weekends, and it relaxes me. But it was killing me from the inside. It was giving me overwhelm. It was giving me anxiety. And one of the things that's been a game changer, as soon as I stopped drinking, I had less anxiety. In fact, I've had hardly any anxiety for the last 6 months. And the only thing I've changed is alcohol. So track it. Poor sleep, low motivation, gut issues. Cut it. If you can give yourself enough evidence that something that you're doing is bad, you won't do it. Or at least that's how it's happened with me. So number 1, sleep. That's fucking your T levels up. Number 2, alcohol. It's messing you up. And if you're drinking too much and you're worried about your testosterone levels, like you should be if you're a guy, as you get older, sort it out. Number 3, diet. You knew I was going to say this. Diet. Nutrition is going to be the biggest game changer for your testosterone levels. So once your sleep is there, once you've reduced the alcohol, getting a good quality diet is a game changer. So the first thing that you need to focus on when it comes to diet is eat sufficient healthy fats. One of the things that I find with a lot of men, and I track a lot of my clients' nutrition, I see what they eat, I see where they're going wrong, is they're not getting enough healthy fats in their diets. They're not getting enough essential fatty acids, EPA, DHA. They're not having good omega-3, omega-6 balances. A lot of their fats come from the shit food that they eat. So make sure that you are tracking and aware of how much good quality fats you get in your diet. And your diet should be making up 25 to 35% of your daily calories with good quality fats. That will be a game changer for your testosterone levels. Promise you that. Number 2, it's going to be protein. Hitting 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight per day. The average man eats around 60 to 80 grams of protein a day. You want to be doubling that at least. So be mindful of your protein intake. That will really change the game. Having a good high quality protein diet over the next 3 to 6 months will definitely help boost your T levels. The next thing is prioritize micronutrient rich foods. So red meat, eggs, seafood, leafy greens. We all know this. Common sense isn't common practice with diet. Okay. And one of the biggest problems that we have, especially in the UK, is what's known as UPFs, ultra processed foods. Now, the problem that we have with ultra processed foods is 65% of our diet is made up of them. And if you're wondering why you have low testosterone levels, it's probably because 65% of your diet comes from a packet. And that needs to change. Now, what I'm saying is you're not allowed any ultra processed foods, okay? Because there's a lot of ultra processed foods which are fucking awesome. It's just that you're having too much. And that number shouldn't be 65, it should be 15, 10. And if 10% of your diet comes from shit sources, it doesn't matter as long as 90% of your diet is good quality. And I always have that thought process that, you know, if you're on 2,000 calories, 200 calories a day can be whatever the fuck you like. It can be a chocolate bar, it can be some ice cream, it can be whatever, as long as the rest of your diet is good. So prioritize micronutrient rich foods. Another thing to be focused on is include zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D rich foods. And this is a very simple thing to do. You're like, oh Jay, what zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D rich foods are there? Go on to Google, simple thing, and go, what foods have the most zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D in? And then look at the list, write a few down that you actually like eating and eat them. Add them to your diet. A lot of where I get mine from with these are from different nuts. So walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds. I have Brazil nuts. I have all different types of nuts, which I have allocated about a handful a day. And a lot of those have everything that I need in when it comes to that. Then the final one is avoid ultra processed junk, seed oils, and excess sugar. Once again, it's not about you completely getting panicky about it. And this is the problem that I see with the internet. A lot of people are going, oh, seed oils, they're the worst. Processed junk, it's the danger in the dosage. And this is the thing that I keep talking about. Reduce them down. It doesn't necessarily mean panic and remove them completely. It's just knowing that your diet has got far too much shit in and it's not doing any favors for your testosterone levels. So diet. Eat sufficient healthy fats, hit your protein, prioritize micronutrient rich foods, include zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D rich foods, and reduce down your ultra processed food. You're probably eating 60-70% of it. Reduce it down to that 10-15%. The next one, cortisol, stress. That's fucking up your testosterone. How do we manage that? Well, first and foremost, one of the things that I'm doing is reading certain things that signal to me that my stress levels are high. And I have this on my Apple Watch. Two things that I measure, heart rate variability and resting heart rate. They will be an indicator of your stress levels. If your heart rate variability is very low throughout the day, it means that you're stressed a lot. If your resting heart rate is high or higher than what it normally is, it means that you're constantly in a state of stress. And that is fucking up your life and your testosterone levels. And you need to get a grip on it. And there are many different things that you can do. The first one is this. Use daily breath work or mindfulness to calm your nervous system. You need to have techniques to help you calm your nervous system. A couple of years ago, I'd never ever done a single breath work session in my life. And when I was struggling with anxiety, I was trying everything. And one of the biggest things that changed the game for me was breath work. To me, when I first started doing breath work properly, it felt like one of those white TVs that's going shh. As soon as I did a few rounds of breathing, it was as if I put the volume down on it. And I wasn't just putting the volume down on my anxiety, I was putting the volume down on my stress, my cortisol levels. I was finding a technique to help calm me down. Mindfulness as well. A lot of people just don't understand what mindfulness is about, and it's about being present. One of the biggest problems that we have when we're stressed is that we're too much in our heads. We're too much thinking about the next step, what to do now, what we've got planned, and we become so fucking busy that we just need to stop and learn to be more mindful, learn to live more in the moment. And it sounds woo-woo as fuck, but it's going to change your life. So use daily breath work or mindfulness to calm your nervous system. Another thing that can help manage stress, lift weights, walk outdoors, and limit high stim input, e.g. doom scrolling. Lift weights, make sure that you get outdoors. One of the things on my Apple Watch, it seems like a massive data center, but the bottom right there, it tells me how many minutes of daylight I have got a day. And looking at my watch, it's telling me of my 20 minutes that I should be getting a day. For some reason, it's saying I've had 0 minutes. So I need to make sure this afternoon, I need to get some sunshine in and go for a walk. Steps, nature, always good. And then doom scrolling. Limit your social media scrolling. Okay, it's an endless feed of shit, and there's a strong correlation that I found. The longer that I scroll, the more depressed I feel. You need to stop. Allocate some time by all means, okay, because it is fun, but dangers in the dosage. Number 3 comes back. Sleep is your best stress management tool. Okay, double dip. Sleep, stress, they go hand in hand. Number 4, reduce work and lifestyle chaos by controlling what you can. One of the biggest game changers has been learning stoicism. And what stoicism essentially is about is control what you can control and let go of what you can't. We tend to get stressed about things that are outside of our control. And sometimes we just need to remind ourselves, is there anything that we could have done about this? And if the answer is yes, then do something about it. If the answer is no, then don't worry about it. Easier said than done, but so are most things in life that are going to change it. So reduce work and lifestyle chaos by controlling what you can, i.e. routine. And then the final one, add parasympathetic recovery. Sauna, cold plunge, massage, stretching. Don't like cold plunges? Fine, do saunas. Don't like saunas? Fine. Massage, stretching. These things help calm your cortisol, calm your stress. And what you need is one or two things that you do frequently, daily, and don't just do them when you feel stressed. This is the biggest mistake that a lot of people make. People wait until they're broken before they fix themselves, instead of just maintaining daily habits and routines to help deal and maintain and manage your stress levels. And for me, it's things like cold plunges, saunas, and stretching. They have been a massive game changer with my stress management. So cortisol, stress. We've gone sleep, alcohol, diet, cortisol, and stress. The next one, okay, this is order of importance. The next order of importance is body composition. One of the most dangerous things to your testosterone levels, gents, is high visceral fat levels. So if you've got a belly on you, okay, that's fucking up your test levels. Now, this isn't about getting shredded. This isn't about getting a six-pack. It's about understanding that you need to get healthy by getting leaner. If you want to spend as long as possible on this planet feeling great, you need to get leaner. You need to get rid of that belly. That is the thing. That high visceral fat levels is killing you slowly, painfully. So it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be something that you need to focus on. Prioritize fat loss, especially around the waist. Visceral fat equals an estrogen factory. It's fucking up your test levels. Number 2, don't crash diet. You hear me say, right, you need to lose weight. I didn't say you need to lose weight as fast as humanly possible. If you want to tank your testosterone levels, diet like a knobhead, okay? Go on 1,000 calories and do hours of cardio. That will pretty much fuck your test levels. So don't crash diet. Slow and steady wins the race. Aim for 1 to 2 pounds of fat loss per week, depending on how much you've got to lose. Be patient and be persistent when it comes to fat loss. Number 3, lift weights to preserve or build lean mass. Okay, lifting weights. Everyone should be lifting weights. Super, super important. Number 4, stay active. Get your 8 to 12,000 steps in a day. It kills so many multiple birds with so many multiple stones. You're out in nature, you're burning calories, you're improving your mindfulness, you're managing your stress, and it's improving your body composition. Steps are super, super important for all of the things I've just said. And then finally, what gets measured gets improved. Buy some scales, track your weight, hire a coach like me who's going to check that you're doing all of those things. Track waist size and progress photos, not just scale weight. One of the biggest things that I'll tell you is my client, which I spoke about at the beginning of this live stream. He's lost in about 6 months, he's lost about 4 pounds. It doesn't sound like a lot, but he's gone from abnormal testosterone levels to normal testosterone levels. It's not always about weight. It's not always about what you look like on the outside, although he looks great on the outside. It's how you feel on the inside and how you actually are on the inside, especially when it comes to your testosterone levels. So body composition, next in the level of importance. Get lean. Don't crash diet, but focus on getting lean and dropping those visceral fat levels. The next one, resistance training. Resistance training, gents. Train 3 to 4 times a week with a focus on compound lifts. So compound lifts, multi-joint exercises, and they are your squats, your bench press, your deadlifts, all of the good muscle builders and test boosters, okay? I put here 6 to 10 rep range. It's ideal, but if you are focused on, increasing your volume sets times reps times weights, and you're following a program such as my RM8, rest assured that you're going to get the right amount of exercise in there. Number 2, use progressive overload. Aim to get stronger over time. This is why it's so important to track your training. Looking at your total volume and focus on increasing that total volume over time. It's not about how much you bench, it's about how much weight is on that bench over that consistent period of time by adding your sets times reps times weight. Number 3, short rest periods can elevate T response. Yes, one of the main things that you want to be doing is making sure that the intensity is high with your training and that you're not spending all the time in the gym, but make sure that you are training effectively. But one of the main things that I like to do is compound focus, 6 to 10 rep range, isolation movements, 10 to 12 rep range. That's what I tend to do when it comes to muscle groups. And then the final one as well is to make sure that you're recovering properly. When we're talking about muscle building, there is a simple equation when it comes to hypertrophy. Stress plus rest equals growth. And a lot of people place too much stress on there without rest. You need to have rest days, active rest days and full rest days. A lot of people feel guilty about rest days. You shouldn't. Overtraining spikes cortisol and kills progress. Okay, so we're coming to our final 2. If you're looking at this as a pyramid, this is coming to the top of the pyramid of importance. So still worth considering, but not as much as all the others. And the next thing is supplements. So once you've got your sleep sorted, once you're reduced down your alcohol, once your diet's on point, once you're managing your stress, once you focus on reducing down your body composition, once you've got a good quality resistance training protocol in, focus on supplements. What supplements? Well, vitamin D3. A lot of people are deficient in vitamin D3. I would focus on getting between 3,000 to 4,000 IUs a day. You can get that through your diet, and you can also get it through supplements. I get about 2,000 IUs use through my high strength fish oil. And the best thing about that is I'm getting all my essential fatty acids through my fish oil, and I get my vitamin D too. And because vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin, of course it's transporting around with the fat. My go-to is something called Nordic oil, which you can get on Amazon. It's a lemon fish oil, one of the highest strength on the market. It has no fishy taste as well, and it has all the vitamin D in that you need too. Worthwhile investment. The next thing is zinc, but you need to make sure that you get a blood test. The first thing that I did when I hit 40 was to get a blood test to see if everything is right. And that's been a game changer for me because everything was. But only supplement with zinc if you're deficient. So that is why it's important to get a blood test. Ashwagandha, okay? It can lower cortisol and modestly increase T. There is a lot of research behind ashwagandha. It's a fairly cheap supplement. And when it comes to any kind of supplement, I'm always asking myself, does it produce a small benefit? Is there evidence to show that that works? And is it a fairly cost-effective supplement? If the answer to all of those is yes, I get it. So ashwagandha can help. Creatine monohydrate for strength and T support in older men. Every single person listening to this should be on creatine monohydrate. It's a fairly cheap supplement, 5 to 10 grams a day. I would say 5 grams for the body, 5 grams for the brain. And then the avoidance of supplements is avoid snake oils, such as tea boosters and all these things that promise the world and deliver fuck all. Okay, most of them have unproven blends. Most of them are just marketing. So avoid tea boosters. So that is pretty much all of them. And the one at the tippy top when it comes to boosting your test levels naturally, and I've put it at the top as, so many people put this at the bottom. So many people worry about this, but they're wasting their time, and it is endocrine disruptors. Endocrine disruptors. People are saying, don't touch receipts in supermarkets because endocrine, it's going to fuck your T levels. It's not going to fuck your T levels as much as not getting enough sleep, not managing your stress, not lifting weights, not getting a good quality diet in. So these are the top level. If you can get all the other shit sorted, maybe just consider being a bit more mindful with these things. So avoid plastic containers as much as possible. Okay, be mindful of sticking plastic in the microwave and eating it. I'm a massive fan of glass Tupperware. I try and not eat out of plastic as much as I can. I have a metal water bottle. Little things, a few little swaps make a massive difference. Okay, don't microwave food in plastic or cling film. Common sense with that. Choose paraben and flammate free grooming products. Okay, just be mindful of what you're rubbing on your face and in your hair. Try and ditch synthetic air fresheners, candles, and heavily fragranced items. I'm very mindful of all of that shit now. Dangers in the dosage, of course. Just be mindful of a lot of the chemicals and shit. And this isn't being some kind of tin hat person, but you probably eat a lot out of things that needed to be thrown away. You rub lots of chemical shit into your hair and your body daily. You use lots of bleaches and hair and air fresheners and stuff, and it does have an effect. Not as much as everything else, but just be mindful of it. And for me, it's just a case of just swapping a few things out and being a little bit more mindful. I'm definitely not the man who said you need to get rid of all of this stuff, it's killing you, this, that, and the other. Replace a few things, it will make a difference over time. So that is pretty much it. So long list, but what you need to do is understand that a lot of them get combined together, and a lot of it boils down to making sure you're getting enough sleep, ditching the booze, having a good quality diet, maintaining your stress levels, getting lean, training consistently, supplementing where needs be, and just ditching some of those plastic containers and things that you should have done ages ago that you keep using. Pretty exhausted list, but one of the things that you're probably not doing is a lot of those things. And if we put those on a list of priorities, a lot of people aren't getting enough sleep. A lot of guys are drinking too much alcohol. A lot of guys diet like they eat like students. They don't manage their stress levels. They think mindfulness and breath work is woo-woo shit, but they're the same people who have low testosterone levels. You're not getting lean enough. A beer belly, it's not something to be proud of, especially as you get older. It's fucking up everything in your body, and it needs to be focused on improving. Training, you are not exempt from lifting weights, and supplementation. So what I would say is, if you haven't got a blood test in the last few years, I would highly recommend starting there, just so you've got the data there to focus on. And also understand that it's going to take a bit of time. This isn't going to be like a 30-day challenge and all of a sudden your test levels are going to go through the roof. It will take 6 months, 6 months to a year to do. And it's all about building up those positive habits. And as you start to build up those positive habits, you will find yourself feeling better, having better focus, clarity, energy, motivation, drive. And with all of that will also then come your testosterone levels too. And I promise you that if you are patient enough to implement these things, it will change the game for you.